Let's move on to this next movie here. I did a double feature last night. The first film I saw was Stuber, and the second one was another movie I really didn't know much about until the first promo spots for it dropped, and that's the movie Crawl. You know, the first spot for Crawl came out, and I remember Robert Meyer Burnett and I talked about it on this show, and we were just like, this looks great. It looks like such a cheesy, low budget, indie kind of film, but for whatever reason, it looks great. I'm really excited to see this for what it is. And then early word started coming out from it. The early buzz on social media was very strong about it. So, okay, I went to go see Stuber, a little bit disappointed, going to watch Crawl, and I'm telling you what, guys, this movie delivers. This movie delivers. Now, you guys know the premise from the trailer. It is really no more complicated than what the trailer shows you. A girl in the midst of a hurricane going on in Florida goes to check on her dad, only to find that dad is trapped in a house with a bunch of gators, and the floodwaters are rising, and they gotta get out of there. That's the whole movie. It doesn't pretend to be anything more than that. It doesn't try to be anything more than that. It's a simple, basic premise for a simple little thriller horror, and they execute it so well. I'm telling you what, okay, the first 10 minutes of this movie, little bit slow, setting some things up. They establish that this girl is a world-class swimmer. She swims on the university swimming team. That becomes important information later in the movie, as you can well imagine. She's in the water with gators. So they want to establish that she's a swimmer. They establish a little bit of background information. It's a broken family. Mom and dad are separated. She still loves her dad, blah, blah, blah. All that kind of stuff. So she goes into a hurricane zone to check on her dad because they can't reach him. And then that's when the movie really starts. About 10, 15 minutes in, the movie starts, the gators show up, and from that moment, all the way to the ending of the film, it is nonstop. You as an audience member, there's not a second, I'm not gripping the arms on my seat, and like my neck is tense. And it's like, because even when there's not like action gatory things going on, the suspense of it and the tension of it was executed so well. Look, I took this film program from this guy that Quentin Tarantino went to once, actually, a guy by the name of Dove S.S. Simmons. And, he just said something a lot of other people said. There is something to be said for movies, yes, for deep, complicated, intricate plots, and those can be wonderful. But sometimes the keep it simple, stupid, the KISS method, keep it simple, stupid, just a simple concept that you execute well can be extremely satisfying for an audience. Movies are made to be experiential events. We go to movies to experience something, and I'll tell you what, you get an experience out of Crawl. You completely get an experience out of Crawl. I enjoyed this movie, edge of your seat the whole time once the action kicks in. It's all thriller, no filler. It's a tight 90 minutes or right around there. We heard some other people talking about that. It's very tight. It doesn't waste any frames of screen time. You get in, boom, you get out. It's just a good, fun time at the movies. And if you had told me a month ago that this little low-budget indie horror film Crawl would have a higher Rotten Tomatoes rating than Lion King, I would have said you're crazy. And yet this is the world we live in. I'll tell you what, I may have walked out of Stuber a little bit disappointed. I was exceedingly happy with Crawl. Good, fun film. If you guys have been thinking about going to check it out, absolutely do. For a low-budget feeling movie, by the way, the effects of the crocs, or of the alligators, I should say, felt great. The effects on the alligators, they looked wonderful. It's brutal and gory and exciting, and it's just a good fun time, guys. Go and check out Crawl if you've even remotely been thinking about it, and have yourselves a good time. All right, guys.